Hey everybody, welcome to Pencil for Life. This is the one, the only Brad. How is everybody doing this Sunday? I hope everybody is doing great. I know I am personally. Anyways, let's get started. We got a really cool guest on today. I'll introduce him in just a moment. But first, let's say hi to Chester. How you doing, Chester?
I am doing very well, Brad. It's actually quite a sunny day over here, and I think I might be getting some hot coffee in a minute. My wife might be preparing for me, or she might just throw something at me. But hey, either way,
Hope she doesn't throw it on you. Yeah,
that's true. That
that
is
would
true.
be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's introduce our guest today. It is the one, the only Chad Harding. How you doing, Chad?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, guys. Thanks.
Awesome. Chad, I know I've known you a little while now from working at Dragon's Keep.
That's right.
Yep.
The
Um,
faithful manager of Dragon's Keep Forum. But now you're not doing that anymore, though, right?
no, I'm not the manager anymore. No, I'm just
You
helping him out
betrayed
up
me and
there.
left, so I don't know why we're even talking because
Oh yeah, I know.
you
Yeah,
abandoned me in Orem, Utah, to my own devices.
true. I bandaged you, left, and then came back. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're back. Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So I work. I was gonna say I just work part time over there to help him out, and then I do like the events and stuff like that, and help with comic order and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm just not in charge of the day to day operation of the shop anymore. So
Oh,
yeah,
all right. We'll
yeah, yeah.
forgive you there.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks. Anyway, so I wanted to have you on because one, you're an artist I know. You work for DC Comics. I
I
love your
do.
stuff. You
Yep.
drew
Thank
me
you.
a really nice Harley Quinn, which I have on my wall
Nice.
in pencil. I didn't get it inked. And I like it penciled. I love pencil. So
I like my pencils better than anything else. So I
me
agree with you.
too. I love my pencils better when I finish them. They're great. Uh,
Yeah.
but inks,
Every now and then I can sort of pull off the Copics and the inks,
mm-hmm.
but it's like you got 40 years experience with pencils, 3 years
Yeah.
experience with Copics and inks. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
not quite yet there yet.
Do you use Copics or are you using? I thought you used Touch.
You know what? Okay, they're thing, but yes, you're right. I use
Okay.
touch markers. I'm
Okay.
sponsored by Touch. I
Okay.
should be plugging them.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, we'll plug him
but
anyways. While we're talking.
but
So.
yes, I mean, all alcohol markers are basically the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
with just slight variations. But yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Touch markers. Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, Shinhan Art. My apologies.
Yeah, we'll make sure he's on track. Yeah. So I'm going to throw up some of your artwork while we talk a little bit so people can see it. But
Cool.
yeah, so I knew you when you were with DC Comics. You were doing Harley Quinn at the time. Um, what are you working on right now? Like what have you been doing right now,
On
work
the
wise?
last page of Justice League Giant Man, which is a Wonder Woman story written by Jimmy
Okay.
and Amanda Palmiotti.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor.
Yep.
They're
Mm-hmm.
married, but they
I know. Yeah.
Amanda.
I'm friends with Peter, his brother.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Peter and I have been, I met in an art show with Jeff Lafferty, and we've been friends ever since. So,
Good.
yeah, he's a cool
So
dude.
yeah, I have one more page with them. It started going at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and the purpose of the Kickstarter is doing your own comic is it same as doing a comic for DC, right? Right,
Correct.
because
Yeah.
drawing something is drawing something. Nothing can be further from the truth. It's just not true. Because when you work for DC Comics takes care of absolutely everything. You have to
Mm-hmm.
worry about is drawing the art and sending it off. When you're doing your own creator comic, you have to do everything.
Yep.
Everything. And so my apologies to any artists that I ever badmouth who were doing their own independent comic. I had no idea what was involved. Um, I kid you not. If I had a nickel for every time, like this comic is a year late, these guys are just lazy, rabbity beebity, cursing them up or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies. It's a whole separate thing. It comes with a set of problems, and they're all problems that I'm not used to dealing with. And the biggest one is something for DC. DC immediately turns around and they're like, "Here's your money." Well, when you do your own comic and you finish it, there's nobody there saying, "Here's your own money." And
Yeah.
so, if you want to go print it, if you want to have it shipped to the United States because you're printing it from a foreign country, that all gets insanely expensive. And so, we're launching the Kickstarter for the art volume books in the hopes that we make enough money, and we are $4,000 away from the stretch goal. That if we get 1,000, then that will fund temerity and get to do, because if I kickstart temerity number 1, temerity number 2, so we're kickstarting this to kickstart temerity, and then hopefully independent. But yeah, it's and
I'm just trying to find your goals really quick. Here we go.
To anybody who did it before Kickstarter, that meant you had to have your own money up front. So anybody who did Image, kudos to you, kind people.
Well, I think Image.
Kudos.
I think Image does their own. Well, they provide the printing and things like that for.
Well, but I'm talking about the guys that broke. You know what I mean? I mean the people who basically said, okay, we're going to stop our jobs at Marvel and DC, and we're going to go do our own thing for the first time.
Yeah, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane.
Right. Right. They did it before Kickstarter. They did it before the internet. So,
although
hats off to those geniuses.
Yeah.
With the Kickstarter, I would suggest you check out Indiegogo, simply because you'll make more money. Kickstarter takes a higher percentage than Indiegogo does. Now, to be fair, the Kickstarter page does give you more options than Indiegogo does, but when it comes down to simple money, Indiegogo would be cheaper for you.
And you know what? We should have done simultaneous campaigns.
You can do it back to back. I don't think they like simultaneous.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how that works. I do know comic projects usually do better on Kickstarter than they do Indiegogo, because I know people that have launched. It's changing. Okay, well,
it is.
Yeah, it's changing.
We will look into
last
it.
Year.
No
worries, dude. Yeah.
But everything is, like I said, everything's on a learning curve. I've never done a Kickstarter before, never self-published before. Jimmy Young has done Children of, so she has 3 Kickstarters under her belt, and 2 published graphic novels.
She's your assistant too, I believe.
Right. Yeah. We're basically, full-blown partners on this. She does the writing, I do the art, and then she does all the everything else, the printing, I basically tell her I just want to draw. Okay, if I can just draw and do the drawing stuff, and she does a really good job of handling everything else, so I can just draw. So
that's nice.
That's being, and then also thanks to, and he was the one who was like, "This is what I'm doing," and his Kickstarter's still going. He has 2 days left on his sketchbook number 7.
Who was that? You did break up.
Jamie Tyndall.
Oh, Jamie Tyndall. Okay.
Oh, Jamie.
And sketchbook number 7. He has 2 days left on his Kickstarter. Jamie was just really kind and was like, "Okay, this is what you want to do. This is what you." Gave me a lot of tips. And
I just said Jamie and Benny on the show the other day, actually.
Right. So, well, that's one of the cool things about comics is, Jamie didn't have to do that. He could have just said, "Okay, Chad, you're on crew." No, Jamie was like, "Hey, I've done this. I want you to be successful too." And so, really kind and gave a lot of good advice. It's same with us and Brian Sharp with Counterpoint Comics. So I know a lot of people who have given me a lot of good advice, and I'm thankful to all of them. And I owe all of them. I probably owe them drawings, and and that's true. I owe a Savage Eve, and I owe Jamie a White Widow cover. So, anywho, all in good time.
Yeah,
all in good time, right?
Yeah.
So,
they had a big success with that run. Yeah.
Yeah.
White Widow looks awesome.
Yeah, it did.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I think they made close to 90,000 on that
Yeah.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna be put in
So-
diamond too, so I can order it for the shop eventually.
Yes,
That's right.
yes, it is in diamond. So no, they're killing it. They're
Yeah.
He
killing
also
it.
did pretty well on his sketchbook as well. Actually,
Yes,
Well, that's good.
yeah.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
got your campaign up right here. I'm showing it to everybody who's in chat right now.
Cool.
Let's just do a couple shots in chat real quick. My boy Manny
All right.
with Good Dog Press. He said he met you twice at Aloha Comic Con. You did a page of
good.
Popeye for him. You're a really
Yes.
cool guy. He loves you. So yeah.
Well,
So
thanks, Manny.
yeah. Chad, do you know Pencil for Life draws? Yes, he does know that. Chad has helped me out.
Did
time
he
to
just
time.
ask? Did he just ask me if I knew you?
No. Another Pope Fire in the chat did. So
Okay.
I don't know if she came in right at the beginning, but yeah, we know each other.
Oh, okay.
So
All right. Yes.
yeah. Okay. And then
Bet,
Booster
did you-
Kiwi's in the chat. Hey,
Well-
Booster.
Lost a bet. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No,
Keep going.
yeah,
that should be interesting. Let's hear about that.
Poorly timed.
What
Poorly
bet did
timed
you
joke.
lose?
She just lost one. She was like, "This guy doesn't know this." Other.
I
Like
see.
it just seemed like a weird question. Is all.
Okay, gotcha. Anyway, so I have a campaign up. I'm showing it. You're currently sitting at 21-2 for your campaign. You got 12 days to go, 302 backers.
With $2 more, it'd be 21-3.
I know, right? No,
Rush out now.
yeah, 21-3.
It's like the call centers.
Call now, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We need to get Jerry Lewis on it.
Yeah. So I'm looking at your the different options of tiers you have available. So $10 you just get the digital book, is that correct? Right. And then it looks like 28 you get the hardcover.
You get the hardcover early bird, which includes the very limited copies I have left of Attack, which is actually my
Attack of the Doodle
before Harley. So I think I was doing work for DC, but it was before my Harley work. So,
yeah. So I got your DC work up here. So you've done Demon Knights, Harlequin, Justice League Giants, Zatanna, Supergirl.
Lots of Harley Quinns.
Yeah,
wow.
you did lots of Harley. Yeah. Like Demon Knights.
Yeah, it's all just Harley Quinn.
Okay.
I did all the Harleys until I think issue 32, and then
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's about volume.
If you go to Comic Book Database, it's a more extensive list.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Let me pull that up real quick.
Do you like drawing Harley Quinn?
I love a huge Harley Quinn fan before assignment, and it was so interesting. I had quit working for DC for 2 years. I stopped so I could take a year off to work with Mark Waid and Stan Lee on Traveler, and I did that for a year. And after 12 issues, they shut that all down because Stan Lee, Powell's Entertainment was like demanding a certain amount of money, and then talent, you have to pay them as well because people don't like working for free. And I think what was happening, they got done paying everyone. Boom was just at the point where they're like, well, we're not really making enough to justify this. So they shut it down after 12 issues. Even though we broke records. It was too expensive to keep going. So after that, I jumped ship to Dark Horse, and I did Dragon Age for Dark Horse for 1 year. I believe I did 12 issues of Dragon Age, and which is actually, if you count illegal downloads from torrent sites in the dark web, my number one comic that I've ever done.
Yeah, if you could count
to date. Yeah, technically more popular than anything I did for. But if you want to count legal purchases, then obviously Harley was my most successful. But anyway, what had happened is you know, for 10 years I did comics. You know, DC would call me when someone sort of screwed something up, come in and save the deadline.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see.
And then what happened is I stepped in to save Warlord. And they were doing Warlord, and Mike was so happy with my fill-in work.
Oh, for Mike Grell?
That turned in Mike Grell, yeah. And,
that's how you knew it. That's how you learned how to.
That's how I met Mike.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
All right.
And so Mike and I think we did like 14 issues of Warlord, 14 or 15.
Okay.
And that was the first time I had a series. But I still got that series because I was the fill-in guy.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't basically the showrunner until Traveler. And then after Traveler, I was like the artist on Traveler, the artist on Dragon Age.
Oh, nice.
And then
that was what, 2010, right? I think.
Yeah. And then my editor at DC called me back. He's like, "We want you back. We want you to come back."
Cool.
And I didn't know if I wanted to. I was like, you know, if I have to go back to fill-ins, I really don't want to do that. And he's like, "Well, come back for Demon Knights and wrap up Demon Knights for us, and we'll get you a top tier assignment." And Joey was always like my biggest champion at DC. I really trusted him, so I was like, "Sure, okay. What else am I going to do?" And so I came in and I did Demon Knights, and then they gave me an issue of Justice League where I did Shadow Thief for Villains Month. And at the time, I was doing Demon Knights, Shadow Thief, and 5 or for Supergirl. And what was going on is I knew that Muhammad, who was doing Supergirl at the time, I knew that Marvel had offered him X-Men, and I knew that he had accepted.
Okay.
And so, but I don't think that was public knowledge because all this happens behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I was hoping the test pages for Supergirl would turn into I would become the lead artist on Supergirl.
Now, Muhammad is actually on, I think he's doing Conan right now.
You know, well, he's doing a man. He's either on. Is it who?
I think it's Conan the Barbarian.
Is he on Conan?
I believe so because it's
did,
Aaron and Muhammad. Yeah,
he did X-Men Forever.
Yeah,
he did X-Men Forever. Anyway, so yeah, and he's fantastic. I mean, they're all
his artwork he kills it.
Yeah, and but anyway, so I went to Comic-Con and I finished. And I don't know if you've ever been to Comic-Con San Diego, but it is not the place to finish work. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm at Comic-Con San Diego. I wrap up Demon Knights. I wrap up Shadow Thief. And I'm not kidding you. My wife is driving home in the Prius. I am sitting in the passenger seat, double wide spread, where Brainiac comes down and attacks, Metropolis. I get home, I run in, I scan the pages, I send them to DC. I hit my deadline by like 2 hours. Okay.
Wow.
And then I went, and then I basically days exhaustion because I was so delirious on the floor at San Diego. There were times where my wife was just like, go to sleep, and I'll wake you up when I get off the floor. So she sent me home. But I mean, I was just cranking on all these pages and just completely sleep deprived. And so I crash. I go to read my email to see that I was expecting to hear from Eddie Berganza, who was the leader of the Superman group at DC at the time. I was expecting to get an email from him inviting me to come aboard Supergirl.
So is there one editor who handles the different lines? So there's one editor for the Bat family, one editor for the Superman family.
You have senior editors, and each editor is in charge of a large group. And the two big rival groups inside DC group, which cover Superman, Wonder Woman, have the Batman group, which is like Batman, Harley Quinn. And so what had happened is the Superman group was going to ask me to do Supergirl, and then Mike Martz, who is the Batman group, Harlequin.
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, so
Okay.
I'm getting you. There's two main groups. There's one that is Superman, Wonder Woman, basically everything else, and one that is Batman. Correct?
Martz was
Yeah.
the editor on the Batman group, and
Okay.
they offered me Harley Quinn, and I guess they were going to offer both and let me choose.
Okay.
But Mike was like, "Well, who do you think he's going to pick?" And Mike was right. I would have picked Harley no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's this inbox from Mike Martz, asked, and he said, he goes, "Jimmy and Amanda, be the penciler. Let us know what you think." And it was one of those things. I was so stoked. I let my kids read it, and we're all jumping up and down, and we were just super excited because, like I said, we're all huge fans.
Yeah,
it was so interesting. So we told him yes, and then so Mike Martz was my senior editor, and then at the time Katie Kubert was my assistant editor, and the assistant editor really is your editor, okay. And the big editor only comes in if you've really screwed something up. So at this point, Katie's our editor, and she's passing along all the higher ups at DC, and they're like, "Yeah, don't expect too much. We'll probably do 20,000 issues for issue number 1, and then we'll probably cancel you around maybe issue number 20." So they DC had like zero expectations on this book. I mean, they're basically telling us that
don't get your hopes too high.
Don't get too excited. Of course, it went completely ape. Our number 0 numbers came in around with reprints. Our number 1s came in around. I think after the reprints, we came in around 165, something like that.
Okay.
We actually beat Batman. We beat Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman. One time.
The one time you did it.
Still have to claim victory. Those. I don't know if you read any of their, the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman, but it's.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be the Batman story for the next. It's going to be the Batman story to beat for the next 20 years. It was an excellent.
Yeah, it
continues to be an excellent.
Every week I sell 3 to 4, Court of Owls straight off the shelf. I mean, that thing is, it's an unstoppable monster.
Yeah. Well, so it was the unstoppable monster, but we beat, for 1 month, we beat the sales, and honestly, that's when Warner Brothers is like, well, who's Harley Quinn? And that's when they're like, okay, well, we got to make a Harley Quinn movie, and they're like, well, what's Harley Quinn's origin? And that's what happened, So
okay,
because before she was like, well, there's nobody hotter than Batman. Batman had to be in everything. Then that's how the Suicide Squad movie. Warner Brothers was like, tell us more about this Harley Quinn character,
Yeah.
Well,
so
you're mentioning Harley Quinn a lot, but I see you got a sketch there of Magic, I actually see something else in here on the page that's actually interesting me quite a bit. I wondered if you could tell me a little bit about Temerity.
Okay, well, Temerity is my creator-owned project.
Yeah.
So we were talking about doing our creator-owned stuff. There was one time we were coming home. Gemma and Jacob would help me with my convention appearances, and Gemma and Jacob asked me, they're like, well, if you were going to do a comic, an independent comic, a creator-owned comic, what would you do? And I said, well, I've always had this idea that I was going to do something with spaceships, something with robots, something with aliens, and explode, probably, be very Robotech, Gundam-ish.
Nice.
Robotech. I love that.
Gemma, and Gemma said, she goes, I have a story. Would you like to read this story? And I read, and it was a story that she wrote or started writing at a very young age, because Jim is already young. So if she's had it for a couple of years, she probably had it when she was 12. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. There's a book called Temerity, and it had everything on it. And it's really a great idea. You have a group of mercenaries, and they inhabit a spaceship called which is super fast, super stealthy, illegal type planet destroying spaceship. And so they're basically these really nasty, powerful mercenary group. Guns for hire. Think A-Team. Okay. Think A-Team, very lethal spaceship, and but at the same time, completely 100%. So you have all the fun of shooting stuff in outer space, the soap opera, anime, awkward love triangles, and whatnot with a crew that basically doesn't know how to behave around other humans or people. So
it's all socially awkward. Yeah.
Yes, like so there's love triangles. There's it can be very Oron. Look, you guys watch anime or whatnot, but it definitely has that soap opera love.
Oh yeah,
aspect. The same my art, and I'm throwing in. I'm representing like the fanboy demographic, the aging fanboy. Jim is representing the young female demographic, and hopefully we're creating something that everybody wants to read.
Yeah. I'm excited to read it for sure.
And I will say this: it's the best art I've ever put in any comic, hands down. Period. And that's all. It's so slow.
Yeah, we have one. You have the one like shot with Temerity cover with the captain, I believe, and the female character.
Well, that's Naya and Teru. Naya is they're both assassins. Edith is the captain. The one did I send you the image with the girl with the long red hair? She has like a purple outfit. That's Edith, who's the captain.
Let me find out here.
I'm getting all these stupid notifications. Well, this is
happens. Yeah. Hold on. Let me switch over to the other screen for it. I believe I found it. It should be this one.
So Edith is like this super sexy
assassin robot thing. Yeah.
Not sexual robot, but she's human. That's her armor that she's wearing.
Yeah. I can see the face underneath now. Yeah.
But yeah, she's a little bit friendly. I guess we could say she's friendly and outgoing. Whereas Teru is basically his entire life has been spent as a.
Is this Teru in the black and white with the sword?
That's Teru. Yep, that's Teru. He's basically a space ninja.
Okay.
And he knows nothing but killing people. So no dating skills whatsoever.
Nice. Okay.
It's basically up to Naya and Edith and the rest of the crew to sort of
Naya has
get him to act normal.
Gun with the heart on it, right?
Yep, the gun with the yes.
Okay.
She's basically a magic girl, a heavily armed magic girl that's completely lethal. So
nice.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to reading it. That's for sure. It looks fun.
We're trying to make it as funny as possible. Like the image you have up right now.
Yeah,
you can spot the homages to the parodies to Alien from Star Wars.
Sure,
right there,
in the back.
Alien
from NASA. Morn from Deep Space Nine, so like I said, we are tipping our hats to everything we loved growing up.
Good.
So
yeah, that's cool. I got a couple questions real quick from the chat. One,
yes,
where is she at? Favorite Teen Titan? Pope Fire wants to know who's your favorite Teen Titan.
It has to be Starfire.
Oh my!
Has to be Starfire. Oh my God!
Someone coached him, I guess, huh?
Why?
So
I love the Starfire.
We all know Superboy's the right choice. We all know it. We know it.
I like
No.
Beast Boy, but that's all right.
No, Starfire.
Okay, well, I won't have to ask Josh's question because he wanted to know who is better, who you think is better, Raven or Pope Fire. So
Yeah. Well, I would. It's probably well advised to never ask Joshua's questions, but you know.
Well, but Raven probably is more powerful.
And
Oh.
cooler.
What do you say?
Oh.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
probably the most powerful member of the team.
Yeah, Pope Fire also wants to know if you have
Think
any
about it.
Teen
The only
Titan
thing
covers
she
for
has
sale.
to do is basically, think about something, and they basically go to hell.
That's true.
I mean, honestly,
See
you know
ya.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I think Raven will win the most powerful Teen Titan award.
Mhm.
And she's saying that she just wants you to know because of your Teen Titan covers that she loves you.
Yes, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
glad somebody saw those.
Yeah, she wants to know if there's any art for
and
sale.
I love doing covers for DC. I want to do more covers for DC, but I would like it if DC would call me and give me more than like a day or 2 days to
Notice.
because it's so funny, and I've worked for him for close to 14 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sort of doing the same thing that I did with the interiors, where it's like they call me when they're like, "Oh my god, oh my god, tomorrow is preview solicitation.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do, Scoob? I don't know. Hire Chad,
Who's the only artist we can trust?
I know, and so they call me up and they're like, we need it, but we need it now, and I would love to take something where I get to spend like if I knew that it was going to be like a reoccurring assignment or something like that, and like take a couple of weeks and really put the spit and shine and the polish on it. Now, if you go back and look at the Kickstarter, see Jimma gave me the cover too, and if you look at that one, that's probably the scroll
up or down.
Up. I believe it's up. Yeah, a little bit more. Maybe not. I'm lying to you guys. I don't know where.
Which one were you looking for? Because I've been looking through all this.
No, there it is. There it is, right there.
This
so
one?
yes, that's the cover to Children of Elder #2. And if you look at that, I mean, until I can get in, if I have 3 days to work on the cover. So what a difference if they gave me a week. I something that's pretty spectacular, but it never happens that way.
Yeah, the more time you have, the better piece most artists can produce.
Fairness to DC, I think there's been a few times where they've given me a week, but there's always something going on top of it. Like I had interiors at the same time, and Anyway.
No, that's cool.
Wham.
Now, do you have an exclusive contract with DC at all, or?
I don't. I
don't. Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Exclusive. I would sign in anybody. I thought exclusive, and maybe it's changed. That when people got offered, it was number one that it was a guarantee for work. It's not. And number 2, that it's a guarantee for certain types of benefits. And for me, it wasn't. The only benefit they offered, they had me an exclusive. But the only benefit that I saw was a signing bonus, a differentiation in like when my royalties would kick in. But it wasn't a guarantee for work. And so basically, it would limit my client list to just DC, and I didn't feel comfortable. Doing it. So, I hope that other artists, really read their contracts before they sign them. I know that with Amanda, she did sign an exclusive with them, but somehow in her exclusive, it was like cover a Harlequin for like the next 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And that and with mine, there was nothing like that. So hopefully the people, they have pretty awesome deals tied in. But the one that DC sent me, it didn't seem to me that hard. So I just said thank you, but no.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Eagle 43 in the chat wants to know: do you like Doc Savage or the Shadow better?
Well, I've seen the Shadow movie, but I believe the only pulp that I've ever read was actually Doc Savage. So I'll say yes to Doc Savage, and yes to the Shadow on the movie side, which is probably a cop out, but there you go.
No,
the movie was great.
The
movie was
Doc
great.
Savages are great, man.
Yeah. Cool. So you teach right now. You're teaching it.
I do.
Yep.
I do.
How long are you going to be teaching for? Like, how long is your contract with teaching?
I've been teaching 3 years.
Okay.
And I love my students.
Yep. So
I hate just about everything.
You hate just about everything else about teaching?
Well, this is what people don't know about teaching. And let's face it, we're all experts in the one thing that we do.
Yeah.
And then we know nothing about anything else. And everyone thinks, oh, teachers, they get summer off. They get all these benefits, and all they got to do is teach a certain amount of time a day. Nothing can be further from the truth. I was told that it was a 40-hour-a-week job. It's an 80-hour-a-week job. And by the time you get done grading and doing your volunteer work, because one of your responsibilities when you become a faculty member at a university, the universities are run by the faculty. So part of your job is maintaining the policies and the government of the university. So you're basically required to donate a third of your hours to the maintenance of the body politic when it comes to the university. And UVU is the largest university in the state now. It's bigger than the University of Utah.
That's crazy.
And so your 40 hours of teaching, and then you turn around and you have your service and commitment to the university. And by the time that's done, you still have to grade. You still have to design. Like I participated in the Woodbury event for Heroes and Villains. I've designed a comic book class, an online comic book class for the university. And these are all things that are not required.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, these are things that I want my students to have. I want to have them to have these experiences. And so it's like, you're doing these things, and you're basically doing them but you're also doing them because you really want your students to have things they don't have. Another thing that we did is I grabbed all my illustration students. I'm a mentor to the illustration club. Went to CTNX, which is a convention down in Los Angeles, and they all got to have their portfolios reviewed by like Blizzard and Pixar and DreamWorks, and then DreamWorks. And so I'm doing all these things, and it's none of it's required. But at the same time, you sort of gauge your success by how well your students do once they graduate. Like, you want them to graduate from your program, and you want them to be illustrators. You don't want.
Yeah, you're like you're tending a garden. You want to see the bloom. Yeah.
Right.
I guess I'm lucky because the classes I do over at the university I do nighttime classes, so I don't have any of those extra commitments.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, it's hard, and it's hard, and you don't get paid for it, and there's times where, and here's the other thing that's weird is you do see other people that put in the bare minimum and seem to somehow still survive in the system. So it can be
that happens in comic books too.
Well, I think it happens everywhere. There's somebody that Brown knows is the right people, and And but if I focus on my students, everything's fine. If I focus on some of my coworkers, I can get a little
testy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
P.S. Melter in the chat would like to know if there has not been any characters you worked on that you'd like to work on in the future.
Well, okay, so somebody said something about magic, one of the magic images. And where I get into trouble.
Oh, okay. Let's
Because
go down it. Trouble's good.
Trouble's good.
If Chris Claremont came to me right now and said, "Chad, I'm relaunching New Mutants.
Oh, hell yeah!
Do you want to draw Magic and Sunspot and Cannonball and Mirage and Wolfsbane and Magma and I would have to stop everything I'm doing and I'd have to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Because and everyone who's like, you told us a year ago that Temerity was going to be out a year ago. What happened? That's exactly what happened with Wonder Woman.
Chris Claremont. Yeah.
Jimmy comes up to me and was like, Jimmy comes up to me and was like, "Do you want to do Wonder Woman?" And I was like, and Wonder Woman was one. Okay, so New Mutants was my favorite comic growing up. Wonder Woman television show from the time I was 4 till the time I was like 6.
Yeah.
The old Linda Carter.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She was hot.
Oh yeah, she still is. She's
absolutely
true. Drop dead gorgeous. She's still.
Yeah, she is really good looking for her old lady.
You know what? She's good looking. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would definitely be her cougar bait, but I just anyway. So when offered Wonder Woman, that's what happened. That's why I said stopped working on Temerity and did Wonder Woman for I think 7 issues of Justice League America Giant for the Walmart.
Okay.
And yeah.
And that's why I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully my fans do too. But I do. That's the number one question I get asked though. Is like, because we put out 10 issues of we put out 10 of Temerity, and then we dropped it like a baby, like right on its head, and everyone's like, "Temerity, what happened?" And I'm like, I'm an asshole, and I did Wonder Woman, because I love Linda Carter, and because I love Wonder Woman, and yeah, so.
No, it's cool, man. It's cool. What I know you've helped me out. When you see my artwork, you give me tips and things like that. And between you and, oh my gosh, he's gonna kill me because I forgot his name at the moment.
John?
No.
Philip?
Yeah, Philip. Yeah. I mean, you guys have probably helped me the most. Besides Sal.
Okay.
And, so sorry for people who don't know. It's Philip Sebi and Sal Valuto who does the Phantom. Yeah. So I mean,
and Sal's the one that taught me too.
Oh, was he?
When I came to Utah,
okay,
was like the only one I knew that was working for Marvel and Valiant, and Sal was like, "This is what you do," and he did the same thing with me, Brad. Yeah. So,
do he sit you in the tiny room and make you draw lines?
But he made Ian, my best friend from college, Ian Johnson. He did that for Ian, and he did that for other people. But no, I think with me, he was just like, he just sort of steered me in the right directions. And whenever I had questions, he was like my go-to. About salary, page rates.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
If an editor sent me an email, and you got to remember, like a lot of this stuff, that I'm the generation before the Google everything generation.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll give, like, I need an answer to something. My first instinct is not to go to Google. It is to go to somebody who I know and trust.
Yeah.
And so Sal was the person I knew and trusted and went to. And my kids were like, "Dad, just Google it. Dad, you're so stupid. Just Google it, Dad. Dad, Google it. See, God damn it.
Hey, Chad, just so you know, the chat has given you permission to chase cougars. Just so you know.
Mango Bad actually says the Wonder Woman series in those Giants have been really good up to issue 6. Yeah, he's up to issue 6 right now. So, yeah, I think he likes them.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. P.S. Melter has a good question.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the I already asked that one though. But what he has not he worked on. That's why we got the Claremont one.
Yeah. New Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So what are because I'm going down this Kickstarter road as well here shortly. I'm doing mine middle of February. What sage advice, oh wise one, would you have for me before I go back out again?
Oh my God. Okay, so and this is what I hate to be a comp out, but
dude, do it.
Gemma's doing everything. So
okay, I should call Gemma.
you should call Gemma. I'm not kidding you. Like, you need to do this. And I said, Jimmy, you know me, that's never going to happen. She's like, give me your phone. And she's done everything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's cool.
So she literally took all the images. I had for 241 pages of art books.
Wow.
And so she just took the first and made volumes 1 and 2. We actually have enough for volumes 3 and 4 already. Okay.
Crazy.
There, but that's the problem though, because I'm going to conventions, I'm drawing pages for DC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to do this stuff, and Gemma realizes that. She's like, Chad is maxed out. He's never going to do this, and so she came to me and she's just like, "Can I do this for you?" And I'm paying her, but at the same time, I know that there are people out there that would do this, that would charge me an arm and a leg, and Gemma's charged me next to nothing.
Crazy.
And that's the type of person she is. She's a friend.
She's always been awesome. Every time I've met her,
she is. She's extremely awesome, and I can't sing her praises high enough. But really, that is a Gemma question. But this is what I'll tell you what I do know.
Mm-hmm.
For all your releases for where you're going to advertise for. So if you're going to advertise on Facebook, if you're going to advertise on Instagram, do not bother with advertising on Google. It's a horrible joke.
Yeah,
Instagram and Facebook have fan advertisements.
Oh, sorry, you broke up there after Instagram. What was that?
Excellent advertisement.
Yeah. Indiegogo is, Instagram is very useful. Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram and Facebook, that's where you put your ads on Google. Do not put them on Twitter, because you cannot control where they go. And Google and Twitter, basically, you pay them for their advertisements and they just send it out into nobody reads it, and it has no effect, and it does you absolutely no good. Instagram and Facebook, excellent algorithms, target it right at your target audience. We had an extremely excellent rate of return on our advertisements there. Build your MailChimp mail server now for the people that you're going to email about your Kickstarters. Gemma was very kind enough to basically tag all of her fans from Children of Elder. And because she's the writer on Temerity, and they've seen the first 10 pages of Temerity, all of her fans from Elder were like, yes, please get this done, you slovenly, slow artist, they all have to hate me, but they want to see this succeed. And so she brought in her her fans from Elder, and really, like I said, the success of this has probably all been hers. And then there are fans who follow me on Facebook and Instagram, because anytime we had a reward, the rewards filled up, like they sold instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we first launched, we funded in 5 hours. It had to be one of Gemma's fans that bought the temerity tier. That was $1,500, and then the full bodies went next. The headshots went after that. The bust shots went after that, and that's how we funded in 5 hours. So
Nice.
So you want to have enough rewards, I guess, and you have to have dangle enough carrots in front of the right people. And,
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, Gemma knew what those were better than I did, because I would have just put the book up. Okay, so maybe when we're done talking, I'll give you her contact info, and you can.
All right, that'll work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she doesn't want me blasting herself.
No, I would. We won't want to dox anybody. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
all of a sudden she gets 1 million people looking for advice.
Right. Help me
Yeah,
with my
the problem is, what do you do when you have no TNA to sell?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, when your book's not about that, right?
Well,
that's a problem.
Well, but nothing Gemma does is TNA.
Yeah,
nothing.
she doesn't. Yeah.
No, Gemma is. I would say if it wasn't for her flesh-eating demons, her stuff would all be PG.
She does a lot of Brandon Sanderson
or
fan art, though.
even G.
Yeah.
And it went. It's like she had this fluffy, light little story where then all of a sudden these flesh-eating demons came out and killed everyone. So it was nice and G until that point, but no TNA, no. I don't know how Jim and I are friends. We are like the two most opposite people on the planet, and I guess the only thing we have in common is comics and anime.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow that transcends like artistic styles and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm going through some of your past Facebook pictures right now on your Chad Hardin.
Well, that's Marset in Belgium.
Yeah,
that is some Flanders show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, I wanted people to just see what you look like, what kind of artwork you do, convention settings, things like that. If someone wants to get some original artwork from you, how would they go about doing that?
Someone named Popefire, by the way.
Well, I mean, just anybody though. Sketch covers.
Sadly, if you want original artwork, you need to go to Scott Crest. But I stopped doing everything but digital around Harley issue number 12. Harley New 52 number 12 is some of the last traditional art where I was doing pencils and inks. Okay. And after that point, I just said, screw it. This is too hard. If it's not a splash page or a cover, nobody gives a crap. And I just went all digital. I went all digital. Yeah. And I do make a one-time, I either make a one-time print of the page that I basically keep for myself. Because like I said, nobody really cares about original art unless it is a splash page or a cover. So I'll print out one page for myself. And then if I do a splash page or a cover that I know will sell, then I will create a limited edition print. And I think they tend to have like a print run of 5, and then I charge like $60 for those. Okay. But I don't have any I don't have originals anymore. I just don't do it because nobody cares.
Do you do conventions? So, do you still do like sketch covers or?
I absolutely do the commissions. I absolutely do sketch covers.
Okay.
But I try to limit that to when I'm actually doing a convention, because I don't want that. I don't want that to take away from time that I have. Don't want that to take that away from things like that. So I try and just sort of section that time off for then. And that can be very frustrating because if you're not going to a convention, then it can be very hard for you to get a commission from me. If you're out there and you want to know how, there's going to be convention or commission slots open for all these Kickstarters we're about to do. Like I said, hopefully with Temerity, the goal is to do it quarterly. And so that's 4 Kickstarters a year, hopefully, with Temerity. So there's
Yeah, I
4
like
chances there. And then I'm also thinking about opening pre-commissions. So pay attention to catskillcomics.com. If I go to a convention and I open a pre-commission list, you can always order the commission whether you're going to be at that convention or not.
Okay, that's cool.
So and we'll broker that through Scott Kress.
Do you know? Do you know what conventions you're hitting this year already?
I'm my first convention this year is going to be Amazing Hawaii, which
okay. You'll be out there with me.
Going to be at the yep, and then I have WonderCon. Then I have WonderCon in Anaheim.
Okay.
Let's see, April. April. I have the Wasatch Con in.
Oh yeah. They were supposed to be on last week. We got to reschedule for that. Yeah.
That's run by the Nerd Store.
Correct. Yeah.
Very good friends with.
Yep. Yeah, Roger's supposed to be on the
Charles
show.
Power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be coming on the show, talk about Wasatch Con again here pretty soon. So.
Yep. Yeah. So April's Wasatch. May is Atomic Comic Con in Ontario, California. Not Ontario, Canada. Ontario, California.
Okay.
June is the Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con, also run by Jimmy J.
I'm actually going to be out that
Hawaii.
one. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be out there with you.
Show.
Yep.
Excellent show. Then after that, San Diego Comic Con in San Diego, California. The Comic Con, the Comic Con of Comic Cons.
You had to put that little rub in there for FanX, huh?
You know what? I want to say this. Brian Brandenburg actually, personally, and said, "Hey, I know things have been rough between."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I want to hear your grievances and I want to make reparations." Can I publicly thank him? Can I just say, you know what? That's a classy thing to do. Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment. So, and I wish them the best. I really do.
Oh yeah.
I wish them the best. I still scheduled other shows.
Oh yeah, I get you.
And that is not a slight against them.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just a business decision, and I'm doing what I think is best, so I can provide for my family.
Oh, totally.
But I thought it was a very classy thing to do. So
I'm good. I'm glad that he reached out to you. Yeah.
Yes, kudos to their team. Kudos to them for trying to you possibly can. That what I said was not meant as a slight. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
We all have to learn things the hard way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they learn things in a very hard fashion.
Yeah.
And I hope that they have a good show, and I hope they do fine.
I think FanX is going to be just fine.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
What month were we on? August.
Yeah, August. Yep. Into September. Yep.
I have a show in August. I don't know where.
After that, yeah.
And I will for September I have Cincinnati. October I have New York Comic Con. Yep. November I'm hoping that Rocky Mountain will have me back out. And then December I have one in December one. This is all off the top of my head. And
you're good. Yeah.
And
I didn't expect you to say, name so many right away, but
well, I used to do last year. I did 27.
Whoa!
And
dude, that's a lot.
And what happened is my manager Steve, who's basically been my appearance manager for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
His wife put the hammer down. She's like, "I love you. I want to support you in this, but." She's like, we need to come to terms with the fact that you need a real job, and so he went and got a real job, and left me to my own devices, and now my wife is handling my appearances. And one of the goals, the first goal that we set was to just do one show a month, period.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it's overwhelming. I mean,
Yeah,
27
I think
shows.
last year
That's over half. That's over half the year. Half the weekends a year. You're in another state. You're in another. And so that was our number one goal, and we filled it. And December is supposed to be Rio. I'm talking with Celestial Comics about doing
really down in Brazil.
About doing Brazil. I'm in talks with doing Brazil and Germany.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So yeah. So those are the gaps. That's what those are.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens. Maybe it will.
Chester was out at Tokyo Comic Con, right, Chester?
I was, yeah.
How was it for artists out there?
I would say that there was a extremely small artist alley in Tokyo. But then again, that Comic Con had nothing to do with comic. Like I told you, there were no comic books anywhere to buy. You couldn't buy anything. All that was a big event just to try to sell Marvel movies in Japan. Is what that was.
Really?
Yeah. Now the artist alley was, like I said, really small, but I don't think they did so well. I think Mike Miller did pretty well. And there was a small team of DC artists that had come together, and their booth was absolutely hammered, which was good for them. But everything else, I think, did pretty poorly. But then again, the Japanese were there just to cosplay and see all the shiny Marvel Universe stuff. That's pretty much all it was. It's not. I was shocked because
I would
literally
like to go just because I've never been to Japan, and I would love to see Japan. That's why that and they have amazing Mac Rocket in the United States because curse you,
you broke up. Sorry, curse you.
I curse you, Harmony Gold.
Oh,
okay.
We can't get because everything here has to be Robotech. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no,
if it's in America,
they have
it has to be
Macross
Robotech.
stuff. You can get Macross stuff here.
You cannot sell Macross stuff in the United States. You can sell Robotech stuff in the United States. But if there's anything Macross, okay, like they just released a new, I believe a 1/24th scale Veritech, which is larger than the 1/32nd scale, and it's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. Cannot touch it here in the United States because unless it's imported, because Harmony Gold controls the copyright.
Okay.
So I need to go to Japan to buy my Mac.
To buy it and send it in.
And
Eagle 43 does have a little question for you, which I think I already know the answer.
Yeah.
But he says, have you ever heard of Battletech?
I love Battletech. Yes.
Yeah,
I played it. I played it extensively, and once again, this is another arena where the original Battletech actually had the stats for a lot of the Battloids used in Robotech.
Yes,
and then when I worked in video games, I also did all the Battletech covers for Xbox. So.
Oh, did you? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I had those.
So yes, yep. And
cool.
Mech Warrior and wasn't Mech Warrior tied to Battletech? It was like the same universe, but one was.
That's a long conversation, dude. Yeah, that's a long conversation of litigation and battles and all kind of stuff. But yes and no. Peter Palmiotti is in here, and he says, Chad.
Jimmy's brother.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Madness show.
Yeah, I love Peter. Peter's a cool dude.
Hi, Peter. How are you? I hope he's in Florida. Is he in Florida? Where's he at?
No, I think he's in Kentucky.
He's in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh, he left turn at Albuquerque.
It's something like that.
Oh, man.
I could try to get him in here real quick. I don't know if he can or not.
Well, tell him hi if you can. Bring him on, and if you can't, then...
Yeah, I'll see if I can grab him real quick. But yeah, check your Facebook, Peter.
Yeah. Eagle 43 continues, and he says, "Have you played the recent BattleTech game?"
No.
No.
And okay. Let me tell you how my gaming goes now. Now, when you guys called, I was in the middle of a
Warhammer
Warhammer
40K.
8th edition. The game of Warhammer that I have played in the last, Davis, how many? 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in the last 10 years. And the second game was yesterday, and it only lasted, 2 hours? Because the game was, Davis had his, what Titan? Davis had his Reaver Titan. I had the Wraith Knight.
All right.
And then and a Baneblade. And I had the Wraith Knight and Fire Dragons, and then AJ had like a handful of Tau. Anyway, we got stomped into a puddle of molten slag within 4 turns. I don't think I had no units after. But anyway, I collect miniatures and video games that I never play.
Oh, wow.
I bought Fallout 4 on launch day. I have 22 hours of Fallout 4. I have basically made my character for Fallout 4. Okay. I just bought $400 worth of Warhammer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only halfway put together my Wraith Knight, and the rest of this stuff has sit in my garage for 10 years without being touched. As a matter of fact, that before dinner, we basically opened up all of our old crap because I was playing Warhammer when it launched in '87. I have first edition models. I have played all the editions, and this is what's interesting. My nephew AJ, he's playing Warhammer for 6 months, but he actually knows more than Davis and I do, even though we've been playing our entire lives. Because when a new edition comes out, all of your old knowledge just goes right
out the window.
Shitter.
Yep,
that's true.
And we don't know anything anymore. And this is where it gets really confusing. They have similar names for similar attributes, but the rules have all changed.
Yep.
Like, I'll give you an example. They you still have Doom for your Farseer, but now roll 2d6, pass a psychic test, and the Doom you re-rolled failed wounds instead of every 1+. And so it's like you have all this garbage in your mind from the old systems that you can't get rid of. And anyway, I play as much as I possibly can, but this is This is what the first weekend in 5 years where we've got together.
No, I hear you, brother.
Peter joined us. By the way.
Hey, Peter.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello, Peter.
Oh, doing good. I just helped some friends move for the past 3 days, so.
That's why you sell your truck, Peter. You got to sell your truck.
Get rid of it. Yeah. We do have a question, actually, Chad, for you, and Chad again. What do you prefer your comics on, newsprint or the standard newer comic pages?
I love that newsprint smell. I love it. I sort of hate everything that's man in me. It's going to get older and grumpier from here on out. But
all right.
I own 0 comics. DC basically gives you free comics.
Yeah.
So they used to actually mail you the comics. They gave you comps. I don't know if you guys knew this or not.
Oh yeah.
But when you worked for DC Comics used to give you one of everything they did. So I would get I have like 10 years worth of every DC comic ever for like the last decade.
Oh,
and
nice.
then I don't know at what point they said, no, let's just give them a subscription to Comixology. And I was like, what? Like, this is why I'm working for you guys.
They cut down on all the perks.
Yeah, but no, seriously, like now it's like, what? Well, I'm not getting my comics, so screw you, No. But I mean, it did. It meant that much to me, though. Really, because I'm a comic nerd, and I imagine if you're not a comic nerd and you don't collect comics, you don't care. But I do, and I did. So it hurt when they went to Comixology, I guess is what I have to say.
Yeah. Oh, I get you.
Yeah, that seems really unfortunate. You don't get those things sent to you. That's always look like a lot of fun when I see the pros unbox those.
Well, and Peter, you've been to Jimmy's house, I'm assuming. Jimmy read every book that DC ever sent him, and he would take notes, and he would write down which writers he liked, and he'd write down which artists he liked, and I think that'd be pretty hard to do if you had to do it on a tablet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, back in the day, I used to get DC books, Marvel books, Valiant books, even Image, Dark Horse. They would get stuff and throw it in the box. So I was reading like 1,000 books a month at one time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know if I can read that much.
It was a nice perk. It was a nice perk, and we lament its demise. Here's the free comic from DC Comics.
Yeah, it's really, that sounds unfortunate, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. JP4 says, "Hey, I gotta go," but he said hi to you.
Hi, bye.
You just want to smash that like button and say hi, but gotta go. He's probably after work. He does work about this time, so
that's true. Yeah.
But
so, Peter, what's in Kentucky?
I had to leave New York. I mean, I was born in New York and grew up in New York. Still at this point was there most of my life, but I had a friend who lived in Bardstown, Kentucky, and he said, "Why don't you come here and you can hang out here until you." No, it was him, his wife, and he had 2 boys. But he was like, "You can crash here until you find your own place," and that's exactly what I did. And I liked Bardstown. It was very, a small town. Eventually moved to Louisville. Then I hooked up with somebody, so now I'm in Campbellsville. We broke up, but I'm still here. I'm figuring I'll probably get a farm one day if I can afford it.
Oh my God. So you're going Green Acres, bro?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd buy property if I could, just have a huge piece of property in a house.
I'll tell you this much. I married someone who grew up on a farm. And if it wasn't for her garden, my children and I would have starved to death in the early 2000s.
There you
go. But I grew up in Las Vegas, and everything I touch dies. So that's amazing.
Try to burn it with heat, water it with sun.
Yeah, I was like, let me bathe it with the sun. Why doesn't it grow? I don't know. The only thing that lives in Las Vegas is desert turtles and kangaroo mice, and that's it. And cockroaches. That's
wow.
Everything else has been scorched to death.
The immortal cockroach.
My oldest brother used to live in Florida with his wife, but they moved to Vegas, but they moved to Florida. So I have 3 brothers, and they're all living in Florida, and I'm the black sheep, I guess, living in Kentucky.
Well, they call Florida is it the 5th or the 6th borough? How many boroughs are in New York? There's the Bronx, 5. Manhattan, Bronx, Queens,
5.
Staten Island.
Yeah, 5.
Brooklyn.
What am I missing? Brooklyn. Okay, so wait. So it's a 6th borough then, because there are 5. Okay, it's a 6th borough.
Yeah.
But
I have
that's
to
where
say
everyone
though,
in New York goes to retire. So
I would have never known you're from New York, dude. Never, not in a million years. Yeah.
Yeah. I get that a lot.
Yeah. You do have the thickest accent I've ever heard.
Yeah, dude, it's very
Eagle 43 wants to know, what's your favorite mech, Chad?
What is my favorite mech? My favorite mech is Roy Falker's Super Valkyrie.
Oh, okay.
From the original Macross.
Yeah. See, I liked so in Robotech 2, you know how they had the alpha and beta, and I liked how they can combine. That was one of my favorites.
Yes. Well, yes, and but which is actually the what was it? Mesopotamia?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact anime, but I do like Robotech was an interesting time in my life because I was just really young when it came out. I remember seeing it on TV before Transformers, so I'm like, ooh, what's this? Got into it.
And with GI Joe and Transformers, there were over 1 billion rounds expended with not a single hit on anybody.
That's so true.
I remember turning on Robotech, and like the Zentradi would fire, and people would die and blow up. And as a kid, I was like, oh shit, that guy just got blown up. Like I was like, am I seeing this right? And that's what hooked me. I'm like going, people are actually dying. And then, I mean, in the Robotech cartoon, they end up blowing up the Earth. I mean, the Zentradi basically nuke everybody, and you watch everybody get zapped. And so, I mean, I was like, hey, this cartoon's serious,
Oh yeah, that was great, man.
And no, for me, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah,
So,
I think for G.I. Joe and Transformers, the only time you see someone shot or got died was the movies.
yeah. I think runner-ups, my other favorite mechs would definitely, I really dig the Gundam Unicorn.
Okay.
I need to do a shout out to my friend John, who designs mechs for Reaper Miniatures.
He does.
Yes.
Cool.
What's his mech? The Dictator. And then we have the Hellion. We have the Hellion mech that I designed for him.
Oh, you did the Hellion. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gosh, anything Voltron. God, I love Voltron.
The original Voltron. That second one.
The Go Lion. Yes, the Bandai Go Lion.
Yep.
What else?
We do not talk about the vehicle
Shogun
Voltron.
Warriors. I mean, before Voltron, the Shogun Warriors. It was amazing. Rob Liefeld, his kids gave him for Christmas. They gave him the Shogun Warrior, and I was like, I wish I had Rob's kids. Did
you like Big O?
An awesome present. Yeah. So
And Big O was cool.
Yeah, I was wondering, did you like Big O, Chad?
Yeah, I did, and and I guess we're going modern mechs too. Anything Pacific Rim was pretty dope.
Yeah, they had great designs. Yep,
I love that. So hats off to Del Toro. So
yeah, they had the balls to make the first one. The second one was not that great.
No. The second one, yeah. Anytime the director doesn't come back with a sequel, it's not a real sequel, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
Oh, I see what you mean by Shogun Warriors. You see, it's like Manzinga and Grandizer and Gaiking. Okay. I get it.
Yeah.
I love those things, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and Zoids too. Gosh, there's so many like robot toys growing up. Zoids. Anything Transformer.
How old are you, Chad? We're about the same age, I believe, right? I think so.
I will be 45 in May.
Yeah, we're close. Okay, so I think all of us are close on the panel, actually.
Oh yeah.
I'm the oldest here.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
I'm 55.
Okay, you're the oldest.
You got us by 10.
Yeah.
You got us by 10.
Yeah. But so I think those 80s toys were the best growing up, man. You had the Mask, the Transformers,
Thunder, the Barbarian.
Some of the GoBots, I liked a couple of the GoBots, but yeah, I mean, there was a lot of great robot toys back then. I mean, it was crazy, and that's when anime started coming over the United States too. It was
that's right.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. No, Akira. I think Akira was the first thing I read. It was a Marvel Epic imprint, and then they brought over a lot of Masamune Shiro's stuff with Dark Horse did with Studio Porteous.
I think so. Yeah, because the first thing I read from anime wise or manga wise was Ghost in the Shell with Dark Horse. That was my introduction to anime. I was like, dude, I love this.
Okay, so but that was they originally brought over Appleseed,
Mhm.
Dominion Tank Police.
Oh yeah, Pat Labar.
And what was cool is Dark Horse actually commissioned Arthur Adams to do the covers for Appleseed, and I think that's what sort of got me the hook, because I was a huge Arthur Adams fan.
Okay.
And because he just wrapped up X-Men Annual number 11, where he did the X Babies and the Mojo verse, and then he turned around and he started doing the Appleseed covers. And so I'm like, what's this? And I pick up Appleseed, and on the interior you have Masamune Shirow, who's next to Otomo, probably the best manga artist to ever walk the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And so I was in. But yeah, it really was. It was like the golden age of manga, and and back then we called it Japanese comics because we didn't know they had a name for it. But
yeah, we didn't know.
it was Japanese cartoons.
No idea.
We were being extremely racist, calling them Japanese cartoons, even though they are Japanese cartoons.
Why is that racist at all?
I don't know. But I mean, if you say that, people take offense to it.
Why?
And
that is so dumb.
I don't know.
It's only people in the West who take offense to it. Yeah.
No, but they are Japanese comics. I don't get it.
You're right. It is. It's only the people in the West who take offense, and I guess that's the end thing now, is to be offended at everything, and then go cry to someone who cares, and that's not me. So there you go.
That is weird. That's the first time I've heard that one.
No, I have people that, like, I'll say a Japanese cartoon, and they're like, "Excuse me, it is not a Japanese cartoon. It is anime. Japanese cartoon denotes
anime is sort
racism,
of animation,
nationalism, or something." And I'm like,
well, they need a soft kiss and a hug, and they'll be.
I know, but that's the way the world's getting nowadays.
So dumb,
weird, dude.
Anyway.
So dumb.
I read
go ahead,
Blade from that Dark Horse published way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it was great art. I love that art.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Blade of the Immortal, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just so you guys know, over here in Japan, the Japanese call our comics America no manga desu. No.
Oh, they're so racist.
Such a bastard.
Joshua Hughes is calling us weebs.
How dare they call something from the nation it comes from?
I know, it's weird.
How culturally insensitive. Oh God. God bless them. As they should. As they should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it is, Chad, you've been with us for a little while now. I don't want to keep you from the game too much longer. I know your friends are playing. I think we'll probably wrap it up here real quick, but I want to say, everybody who's listening, please go out and support Chad's Kickstarter. We did put the link down the bottom of the show description if you want to go find it. Support him. He's a great guy, as you heard when we're listening here. Also, I put down his Twitter feed, so you can take a look at that as well.
Fantastic artist.
Thank you guys. Well, and thank you to everyone that supported the Kickstarter. When we did it, like I said, we were just hoping to pay for the printing and the shipping, and now we're 3,700 away from reaching our stretch goal, which for us was we didn't think we'd get it. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for making Temerity possible. If we get there, I promise not to disappoint.
You'll get there, dude. You're gonna get there.
Yeah. But I do want people to know that we do appreciate it. We're not going to take it for granted. And we're flattered and humbled and just can't say thank you enough. So
how big are your books, by the way? The art books, are they 50 pages?
The art books are 60 pages. The art books are 60 pages each.
Wow. Okay.
There's a lot of new content. Nice. There's a lot of golden oldies.
Yeah.
There's some procedural stuff in there that
they're letter size too.
Yes, they're big, so hopefully they stand out more. We unlocked the foil covers, so they should look extremely pretty on everybody's bookshelf.
Oh, good.
So like I said, there's new content, golden oldies, procedures. I'm not going to call them tutorials because I'm an educator, and tutorials to me they'd be a little bit more in depth. But if you're an artist starting out, you can sort of piece together how I work. It should give you a little bit of insights there. Maybe I will do a how-to book in the future.
Well,
I get a lot of questions about that.
If they want to know how you work, they could also sign up for your class at University of Utah.
Right. They can sign up the class at Utah Valley University. Yep. I also plan when Temerity starts to launch, when I get to work on something that's mine and not something that's DC, I am going to live stream drawing of Temerity. Good. So you guys will be able to watch me work on the pages. I've treated my Patreon patrons horribly. They're about to get extremely rewarded. I'm going to throw all this stuff up there for them. But I do want to tell people thank you for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, dude. You're just keep in mind, when you do those live, you can always invite me, and I'll come over and say annoying things to you, dude. I'll help you out.
There you go. You know what? And I say this stuff, and I have no clue how to do it. So hopefully Jimbo will be there to be like, and you push this button.
Dude, I can help you out, bro.
Yeah, sure. You got a lot of people.
You got my number. Just call me. I'll run over and help you.
I have a theory, though, that my parents, they apexed at programming the VHS, and then they were done. And then you reach a point in your life where new technology comes out, and you're just like, I can't take this shit anymore. I'm not learning another goddamn thing. And I'm not there yet, but I'm getting close.
You're getting close.
Jimmy just seems to be able to figure this stuff out a little bit easier than I can. So,
dude, so I'll help you out with your streaming stuff. It's super easy. It really is.
Good.
So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Google made it dumb enough for us old people to get. So you know,
I know. Thank God. No, thank God. User interface ease is actually a thing. So.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Anyways, guys, Peter, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? Or wants to
just come down my block and wave. No, just I'm Peter Palmiotti all over the internet.
Yep.
Don't have an official site.
That sounded
send me an address on a private message, and my wife will send you some heirloom seeds.
Woohoo!
To get your farm going.
Get your farm going.
Awesome.
Nice. All right, guys. Hang on. I'm just going to end the stream real quick. I want to thank everybody for coming.
Yes.
It was awesome to have you out here. It was awesome to have Chad out here. He's been a good friend of me at the shop. So if you have any comments, concerns, questions, put them in the chat. I'll see if I can forward them along in the future. Anyways,
and keep in mind, guys, real quick, that in 30 minutes, we're actually going to be over on my channel. We're going to be doing the books we love. So come over and join us over there and listen to us talk lovingly about comic books.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks. God bless. Have a great day. And I'll check you out later. See you.
Thank you.
Later, guys.
We'll see you.
Bye.